This is the L2C Media Network. This is the L2C Media Network, and this is the L2C Sports Final. Here's Steve with the details of a wild day in sports. Baxman, take it. All right, thank you very much. Hi, everybody. Sorry we're a little late tonight, but had a little something to get done. They couldn't call me earlier today, so my apologies if we're not on at a proper time like I advertised. Speaking of which, let's get to it, shall we? I'm sort of the walking wounded today. Haven't felt good today, and neither has the patriarch. But we soldier on. Let's get you all to the headlines, and oh boy, do we have some headlines for you. The conference for first football conference, do something impossible. That's right. By the way, if you wonder where our logo is, we're not enhancing it. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. Right now, let's do this. The Mid-American Conference officially canceled its 2020 college football season. As such, the 12-member league will become the first step. The MAC's decision not to play extends to all sports. The conference intends on attempting to play a football season, along with the rest of the conference's fall sports, in spring 2021. Winter sports are unaffected by the decision. MAC Commissioner John said in a press conference, quote, "There are simply too many unknowns to put our student athletes into situations that are not clearly understood. It's not the easy decision, but it was the right decision." And when asked if there were any resistance to the decision, Steinbrecher told reporters that the decision to postpone all four sports was unanimous. The school's presidents represent, or as we like to call them, the MAC, we're expected to vote on whether to play in 2020 on Saturday morning after initially planning earlier in the week to meet about finalizing the schedule format for the season. It was reported throughout the week that Northern Illinois and its president, Lisa Freeman, have been pushing the league not to play at all, with NIU reportedly suggesting it would not compete even if the MAC decided to build a schedule with the intent to compete in the fall. NIU has been one of the MAC's best programs since it rejoined the league in 1997, competing in 8 conference championship games. It is the MAC's most accomplished team over the last 10 years, winning 4 MAC titles out of 7 title game appearances since 2010. UConn became the first FBS team to decide against playing college football in the fall, fall 20 on Thursday. It's an independent program unaffiliated with any conference. Now, while the MAC has canceled its fall season due to health and safety, there were also financial concerns as the conference was hit hard by the Big Ten's decision to play conference-only games this season. There were 11 Big Ten versus MAC non-conference games scheduled in 2020 with payouts to MAC schools set to approach near $11 million in those games alone. Games against other Power 5 schools were also canceled, leaving just 5 money games for the entire league. Many athletic departments count on those big money games against Power 5 opponents to cover operating costs each season. Additionally, private COVID-19 testing is expensive. And even abiding by the minimum standard of 1 test per week could cost programs a whole lot of coin over the course of a season. Though Steinbrecher insisted his league would play college football in 2020 despite losing those games, the coronavirus pandemic has not eased or shown significant signs of improvement over the last month. Now the MAC faces a new concern, losing its best players. There's growing worry across the league that should the Power 5 and other conferences go on with fall seasons, some of the league's top players could transfer, particularly as other players across the country are opting out of the season altogether. Multiple FCS conferences have already canceled college football for the fall, and neither Division II nor III football will stage fall championships in any sports. Division I will make that decision for the FCS at some point, though that will not affect the FBS, which competes in the college football playoff outside Division I or NCAA purview. However, the MAC canceling its fall season may become a tipping point for the FBS. Will other group of 5 conferences make similar decision? Will the Power 5 face growing pressure from its peers to pull the plug? Only time will tell as the 2020 college football season approaches. But we may have a little hint in our okay, come on. Yep. And here's the latest. College football season this fall is now literally unavoidable after, as we told you, the MAC canceled its season earlier in the day. 2 prominent Power 5 athletic directors told our friends over at CBS Sports on Saturday. Both reacted to the MAC becoming the first FBS conference to cancel its fall season, while also referencing a lack of progress fighting the coronavirus, according to their medical professionals. Said one longtime Power 5 AD, quote, "It's not fair what we're doing to our coaches and student athletes. The sooner we can come to a finality, the better." Another veteran Power 5 athletic director said, quote, "I think it's inevitable the season will not be played in the fall." So, neither AD wished to be identified due to sensitivity of the situation. Now, the MAC news early Saturday has led to speculation that the dominoes would begin to fall nationally among the 9 other FBS conferences. The FBS is looking more and more like an outlier in forging ahead to play. UConn Independent canceled its season on Wednesday. Several FCS conferences have done the same, to the point that subdivision may no longer hold the national championship. More than 30 Power 5 players, including multiple potential first-round draft picks, have opted out of playing in 2020, citing health concerns. Now, the first unnamed AD said, quote, "I'm of the opinion it's when, not if, the 2020 season is canceled. The MAC announcement adds more momentum to the finish line. I think everyone's medical group is now all telling them the same thing. We keep having the same conversations," end quote. Rumors continue to swirl Saturday that Pac-12 and Big Ten will indeed be the next FBS conferences to cancel their respective 2020 seasons. Now, the Big Ten presidents met on Saturday, though a league source told our friends at CBS Sports not to expect an immediate announcement to cancel its season. The feeling being that the league would alter its practice schedule and announce cancellation on the same day. The Big Ten on Saturday announced it was indefinitely delaying a move to Phase 3 of practice that would have allowed players to use pads. The Detroit Free Press reported that Big Ten Commissioner Kevin Warren is believed to, quote, prefer attempting to play a season in spring 2021. Pac-12 presidents will meet in a regularly scheduled call on Tuesday. However, that timeline could change in 20 minutes to organize a conference call if the situation continued to shift, according to one league official. Quote, "The Pac-12 will be the next, and then the Big Ten," the second AD said. The Big Ten just going to no contact. What's that going to do for you with California being so prominent with the coronavirus? I see the Pac-12 getting out there next. Now, the four Pac-12 schools were encouraged by state health guidelines that suggested that they could start fall practice on August 17th. Second AD had this to say, quote, strategy. It's certainly not playing out that way. Now it's just water torture, end quote. There's already the beginnings of a look ahead to spring football. The first AD stressed that eligibility for players participating in the spring would have to be front burner item before the 2020 season is moved. He said that issue could begin to be addressed as soon as Wednesday when the NCAA Division I Council next meets. Several schools and conferences have said they would honor the scholarships of any players who opted out of the 2020 season. However, the question has not been answered as to whether those players would get an extra year of eligibility. Athletic departments would conceivably be on the hook for playing an extra year. Now, it is speculated and should be expected that several top draft eligible players will have already played their last college snap if football is moved to the spring. If the spring season isn't made attractive enough in terms of an extra year of eligibility, several more could decide to sit out. All sides have to weigh the viability of playing 2 seasons in 1 calendar year. Now, whether college football is played this fall is increasingly becoming a case of risk tolerance. We know where UConn set its level. We know what the max risk tolerance stands. If only one remaining of the 9 remaining conferences gets the proper health recommendations to proceed, would it play? MAC Commissioner John Steinbrecher would not speculate whether his conference's decision would cause a domino effect with other leagues. A group of players in at least 4 major conferences are questioning the safe return of football. Ohio State players on Friday issued a statement separating themselves from that Big Ten protest. The statement said, quote, "We have all chosen to be here. We'll just have to wait and see. And we will give you instant information when events warrant." Okay, we're only going to be on, by the way, till 1:30, so mark that down.
Can you help me, please?
I'm live right now, please.
I just said, can you help me, please?
Blazers had a big opportunity to get a much-needed win on Saturday afternoon when they took on a Los Angeles Clippers team missing numerous key players, including Kawhi Leonard. But they couldn't get it done. However, as Damian Lillard shocking 2 crucial free throws in the final 20 seconds that could have put his team in front, and the Clippers escaped with a 122-117 win. Now, Portland had got to within half a game of the Memphis Grizzlies for the 8th spot in the Western Conference. Instead, the Blazers are now 1.5 games behind with just 3 more to play, and what's more, they're only a half game ahead of the San Antonio Spurs and 1 ahead of both the New Orleans Pelicans and Phoenix Suns. In short, they could look back at Lillard's missed free throws as the reason they missed out on the playoffs. Now, should that end up being the case, it would be a real shame, especially with how well Lillard has played this season, carrying a short-handed Blazers team night in and night out. But as is often the case in the NBA, the action didn't stop on the court. After Lillard missed the free throws, Patrick Beverley, who is not playing it in this game, celebrated by mocking the Blazers star's Dame time gesture. When asked about that after game, Lillard had this to say, quote, "Ask me about Patrick Beverley, who I sent him home before at the end of the game. Paul George got sent home by me last year in the playoffs, so they know. The reason they're reacting like that is because of what they expect from me, which is a sign of respect. It just shows what I've done at a high clip more times than not. I'm not offended by it. If anything, it should just tell you how much it hurt them to go through what I put them through in those situations previously." Lillard's comments then led to a response from Paul George, who wrote on Instagram, quote, "And you getting sent home this year," end quote. To which Lillard replied, quote, "Keep switching teams, running from the grind. Your boys is chumps," end quote. There's nothing like a good belter, verbal belt, for everyone to breathlessly analyze as if it actually means something. If anything, this might make for some awkward interaction around Disney World over the next few days. Usually when players get in online feuds, they're not trapped inside a bubble with each other. Getting stuck on an elevator with someone after you just called them a chump on Instagram isn't really what anyone wants. Which the college football story. Anyway, major college football teams will at least give the 2020 season a go, but that doesn't mean every player will be participating. A number of them have already announced they are opting out for various reasons. And here are the Power 5 players who have opted out. Neil Farrell from LSU, Jalen Twyman of Pitt, Travion Leonard from Auburn, Jamarcus Chapman of Florida Ford of North Carolina, Bryce Watts of North Carolina, Javion Terry of North Carolina, Ben Wyatt and Jacob Rimmer of Duke, Jalen Alexander, Austin Fontaine, Johnny Jordan, Josh Jackson, Vincent Flythe, and TJ Kautai of Maryland. Jordan Reed of Michigan State, Cooper Dawson of Syracuse, Chandler Wooten of Auburn, Rondale Moore of Purdue, Gregory Russo of Miami, Micah Parsons of Penn State, Jordan Rhodes and Mark Fox of South Carolina, Rayshawn Bateman of Minnesota, Cassidy Woods of Washington State, Caleb Farley of Virginia Tech, Rayvon Bonner of Illinois, Orrin Milstein of Vanderbilt, Doyle of Arizona, Jacob Panasiuk of Michigan State, and Jomeus Williams of New Mexico State. If you think there's going to be a 2020 football season, I don't think so. Let's take a look now at the PGA. Dustin Johnson has the lead at 9 under over two-way tie. Scotty Scheffler and Cameron Champ, who are at 8 under. Colin Morikawa, Paul Casey, and Brooks Koepka follow the lead at 7 under, tied for 4th place.
For outdoor space to impress me,
now,
but I swear the only thing missing here is the sound of the ocean.
It's 114, boss.
Really, any of the bedrooms could be the master suite, but this
there is no news.
The room is naturally so light and bright that contrast that by making the room a little more masculine and dramatic. We went with neutral tones, grays and blacks, lush fabrics, and flashes of metal for a little
Oh boy.
There's a nook to read and watch TV, and even a little balcony. It's the perfect place for your morning coffee.
Okay, in soccer news, and we do have some soccer news, and we'll get straight on to scoreboard. We're down to 15 minutes. Let's go to Champions League scoreboard. The Champions League round of 16 is in the rearview mirror after Saturday's action. Saw Barcelona knock out Napoli and Bayern Munich cruise past Chelsea in the second leg. Those two, Saint-Germain and Atalanta, in the last 8 set to battle it out in Lisbon, Portugal. All remaining games in the Champions League are on CBS All Access, so let's go to it. Barcelona defeated Napoli 3-1, 4-2 on aggregate. And Bayern Munich defeated Chelsea 4-1, 7-1 on aggregate. So, wow. This is going to be
The days are long and they have a lot of houses to good day 350 houses, a better day
a little insanity. That's right, we told you, a little insanity.
The White House saying it's ending the census a full month early, despite the recommendation.
Okay.
For those on the ground, making sure every person responds comes with a personal touch to help open doors.
Okay.
As the window to get counted.
So the dominant forces. On Wednesday, it'll be Atalanta versus Paris Saint-Germain. That's at 3 p.m. Eastern, CBS All Access. Thursday, it'll be RB Leipzig versus Atletico Madrid, also at 3 p.m. Eastern. Friday, it'll be Barcelona versus Bayern Munich. All games at 3 p.m. and all games will be on CBS All Access. Anyway, okay, there we go. Lord, as we said, we're only doing 30 minutes tonight because we are nearing our curfew here. So let's there. Let's get to the scores and get them fast. And once again, there we go. Here we go. We're going to try to get this done, at least 30-minute show. Reason is simple. We got to do a couple of makeup shows for Last Call Cafe and Russell Anime Hut tomorrow on Spreaker. So that's why our Sunday show is going to be, try them. They're good. Their corn dogs are exquisite. I will give you that. So try Mary's Ears. They are the best in fair food. Okay, with that said, we got to make this fast, and we're going to try to do it. So here we go. Obviously, with no Premier League action going on at this moment, they'll be back in September. As we said, in the Champions League, Barcelona 3, Napoli 1, Bayern Munich 4, Chelsea 1. In the Champions League preliminary, it was Drita 2, Inter Escalades 1, Linfield 2, the Tree Fiore, nothing. Okay, let's forego our club friendly and let's head straight to the basketball. Los Angeles Clippers over the Portland Trailblazers 22-117. In overtime, the Denver Nuggets over the Utah Jazz 134-132. The Indiana Pacers beat the Los Angeles Lakers 116-111. Phoenix Suns outdueled the Miami Heat 119-112. And in overtime, it was the Dallas Mavericks 136 to the Milwaukee Bucks 132. In the NHL Stanley Cup placements, in overtime, the Vegas Golden Knights beat up on the Colorado Avalanche 4-3. Philadelphia Flyers over the Tampa Bay Lightning 4-1. Japanese baseball, Junichi Dragons over the Yomiuri Giants 3-1, 3-5-0 for the Dragons, 1-5-0 for the Giants. Fuku for the Dragons gets the win. He's 3-2. Hataki for the Giants. This is his first game. The Nippon Ham Fighters over the Seibu Lions in a very close one, 7-6, 7-9-0 Ham Fighters. 6-12-1 Lions. Iguchi for the Ham Fighters won his first game, and Mayagawa got his first loss for the Lions. Chibalati Marines over the Oric Buffaloes, 9-3, 9-16 no for the Marines, 3-6-1 for the Buffaloes. Suzuki let the good times roll, but not tonight. He suffered his second defeat. Futaki, on the other hand, split, and he's 1-1. The Hiroshima Carp over the Henson Tigers, 2-1. Osera for the Hiroshima Carp won it. He's 4-1. Fujikawa of the Tigers is 1-3. Rakuten Golden Eagles over the Fukuoka Silverhawks, 4-2. 4-10-0 for the Eagles, 2-7-0 for the Hawks. Shimoni, 3-3 for the Golden Eagles. And Niho for the Silverhawks, 3-3 on the losing side. Yokohama Bay Stars over the Yakut Swallows, 5-4, 5-12-2. For the Bay Stars, 4-7-0 for the Swallows. Ogawa for the Swallows suffers his defeat. He's 4-2. Yes. And Imanga for the Bay Stars is 5-2. In the fourth inning, the Nippon Ham Fighters are beating the Cebu Lions 2-1, 2-6-0. For the Ham Fighters, 1-3-0 for the Lions. And the Oric Buffaloes are losing to the Chibalati Marines, 1-0, 1-2-1 Marines. 3-0s across the board for the Buffaloes. And here we go. We'll just give you the scores of Major League Baseball. Cleveland Indians over Chicago White Sox, 7-1. Yankees over the Tampa Bay Rays, 8-4. Tigers swept the Pirates, 11-5. Oakland A's over the Houston Astros, 3-1. Tampa Bay over New York Yankees, 5-3. Philadelphia got some freedom over the Atlanta Braves, shut them down, 5-love. Baltimore Orioles over the Washington Nationals, 5-3. Kansas City Royals over the Minnesota Twins, 9-6. Texas Rangers over the Los Angeles Angels, 2-0. Cincinnati Reds over the Milwaukee Brewers, 4-1. New York Mets over the Miami Marlins, 8-4. Toronto Blue Jays over the Boston Red Sox, 2-1. St. Louis and the Cubs postponed. San Francisco over Los Angeles, 5-4. Arizona over the San Diego Padres, 3-2. And Colorado buckled the trend on Seattle, 5-0. In Nicaragua baseball, it was Dantos over Boer, 5-1. In South Korea KBO action, this game lasted 6, and it ended in a tie. Doosan Bears won, Lottie Giants won. 1-3-0 Bears, 1-6-0 Giants. Kia Tigers over the NC Dinos in the full 9 innings, 3-2, 3-4-0 Tigers, 2-6-0 Dinos. Kiwan Heroes over the LG Twins, 5-9-0 on the Twins, 1-8-0. And SK Wyverns over the Samsung Lions, 4-2-2. And folks, hate to do it, but we are plumb out of time. This was a special edition of the L2C Sports Final 30-minute show because of the lateness. And we will be back on approximately midnight Eastern time. I'm Steve the Baxman Baxley. We'll see you then. Good night, everybody.